We welcome you back to Chicago and Wrigley Field, where the Cubs have won it tonight 5-0 and won this NLCS 4-2. It'll be a matchup of two hungry teams. The Indians have not won it all since 1948. The Cubs have not won it all since 1908. A long streak will be snapped starting on Tuesday night. Let's go down to the field. Kevin Burkhardt, it's all yours.
Joe Buck, thank you very much. The Chicago Cubs are going to the World Series. And up now for the trophy presentations, I'd like to introduce members first of the Chicago Cubs front office with Tom Ricketts, the chairman of the Cubs. Theo Epstein, president of baseball operations. Jed Hoyer, the general manager, executive VP. Joe Maddon, the manager. And Crane Kenny, the president of business operations. With me from Major League Baseball is Joe Torre, and he's here to present the Warren C. Giles National League Championship Trophy. Joe.
Well, Kevin, it's such an exciting night and an historic night. And I want to congratulate all these guys up here. Great job. I don't know what you do for a living, but you do it pretty good. But it's my pleasure and honor. What a great night for baseball, and I know a great night for the Chicago Cubs. I want to present you with the Warren C. Giles National League Championship Trophy, if I can lift it. Okay, Tom?
How does it feel to hold that, Tom?
Well, it's pretty special. I just want to thank our players for all the great performances throughout the playoffs and the whole season. I want to thank our great manager, Joe Maddon, for keeping these guys focused, playing hard. I want to shout out for Theo and Jed and everyone in the baseball organization for putting this great team together. I want to recognize Crane Kenny and everyone on the business side who has kept this machine rolling. But most importantly, I want to say thank you to the greatest fans in any sport in the world.
Tom, you were walking around tonight. You were interacting with the fans as you do a lot. This is special to you. You went to school here. You met your wife here. What does this mean to you emotionally?
Yeah, I can't really describe it right now. All I know is we got to win 4 more games.
Tom, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tom Ricketts. Let's bring in Theo Epstein here. This was a few years in the making. You've been here before. You felt this feeling before. What does this one feel like?
This is incredibly special. I want to thank all our scouting and player development people, everyone in the whole organization, from Tom and his family all the way down. It was a team effort. They hung in there through thick and thin. Our fans hung in there with us the whole time the last 5 years. And it's extra special because it goes out to Billy Williams is here on the field, and Ernie Banks and Ron Santo and the guys from '69 who could have got there, should have got there, and almost did. And then the '84 teams, Ryan Sandberg is here, and Rick Sutcliffe and those guys. This is for all you guys, too.
Theo, when you took this job, what did you think of? Did you think this was possible?
Yeah. I mean, what prevents us from winning? And now all we got to do is win 4 more. So when you got this kind of support from the fans, unbelievable players, the young guys, the veterans, they're all here for the same reason. Joe and his coaching staff, incredible leadership. Jed, Jason, the guys in the front office, all the ingredients are here. Now we just got to go do it, and that's our plan.
Can you talk a little bit about the guy to your left and Joe Maddon? And what is the most incredible thing he's brought to the table for your organization?
Unbelievable job by Joe ever since he got here. Changed the culture at the major league level. We loved everything that was bubbling up in the organization from the minor leagues, but to finish it off at the big league level, Joe is the best in the business, getting guys to relax, be themselves, focus. We embraced the target this year. His leadership's been everything, allowed our young guys to settle in and play as well as we did tonight. You saw how well we played tonight. That happens when guys can be themselves and embrace the moment, and that starts with Joe up top and his coaching staff.
One last one, Theo, before we get to Joe. I know you got 4 more that you got to win, but to this point, what's been the most gratifying thing about this club this year?
I just think how everyone's in it together, you know, from John Lackey and the free agents who wanted to be here for this moment and to get to the World Series and 4 more wins, to the young guys who, from the moment they were drafted as Cubs, had this on their minds to win it for these fans. The fact that we were all together, and through the tough times, there was no one blaming anyone else. And now in the good times, no one's grabbing the credit. It's a complete team effort from top to bottom of the organization, all for one. Now we just got 4 more and do it for everyone here.
Congratulations, Theo.
Thanks a lot.
Theo Epstein. Well, Joe Maddon, just another Saturday at the ballpark.
My first thought is, we did not suck. Listen, first of all, before I get to the guys up here, where's our guys, where's our players? How about a tremendous round of applause for these folks out here, man? And the other part of it is, because I've been there, our coaching staff deserves so much credit for what you saw tonight. Round of applause for our coaching staff. And of course, without the gentlemen up here, Mr. Ricketts, Theo, Jed, Crane, I would not have this opportunity to be here tonight. To be with you on a nightly basis is phenomenal. I know this is a playoff game, but you folks are like this every night, and we totally appreciate it.
Joe, when you had your morning coffee, what was going through your head this morning?
I wanted to watch football tomorrow. Where's Jay? My wife, Jay. Me and Jay got a bet. Our 2 teams are playing against each other tomorrow, so we're just going to sit down tomorrow and be able to watch a football game on a Sunday. That's the truth.
Well, you can do that. That's the good news. Before we get to the MVP presentation, one last one. If you could talk about tonight's game specifically. I mean, you've got a tremendous pitcher going on the other side. You guys came out so aggressive, so focused. It seemed so relaxed.
Well, the thing I preached from opening day in spring training is I want us to play the same game regardless of the date on the calendar. I mean, everybody looks at me, the psychobabble component of that, but it's true. You should not change what you're doing regardless of the time of the year. Want to come out in the middle of October and play the same game we've been playing all summer. That's one of our best games we've played in a while regarding being clean with the pitching, the at-bats. In these circumstances, trying to do this for everybody, for you folks here. Listen, it was a spectacular evening. Thank you for your support. The boys have been talking. 4 more, we could really have a party.
Joe Maddon. Okay, time now for the most valuable player presentation. Joe Torre, we have a special presentation this time around.
Well, Kevin, there were so many heroes in this championship series, but they have it whittled down to 2. Javier Baez. And also John Lester. Come on out here, guys. Come on. This is you, guys, right there.
Javi, let's start with you. This has been some ride in the postseason for you. You have performed incredibly. And now what does it feel like tonight to stand up here and hold that trophy?
Amazing, amazing. Thank you guys. Really excited, man, really excited to be here, to be winning, and to win 4 more games, man. We're ready.
You guys played with such confidence all season and especially all postseason. Even when you were down, when you had some bad games, you rebounded so well. What was the key to that?
Just having fun, you know, living my dream, playing like a little kid, moving everywhere, and catching the ball, making plays.
How does this sound to you? The Chicago Cubs are going to the World Series.
Believe it.
Thank you. What's bringing John Lester? John, congratulations to you. Outstanding pitching, especially in this series. You've done this before with another team that hadn't won in a long time. What makes this city, this team, so special?
Listen to them. I mean, it's just. Outside before the game was crazy. Inside the game was crazy. I mean, these guys have done nothing but support us from day one, and it's been unbelievable to play here and be a part of this. I mean, words can't really describe where I'm at right now.
Let me ask you tonight, you did a great job last night or in Game 5 tonight watching Kyle spin his magic. What was it like for you to watch that?
Nerve-wracking. It's easier to pitch than it is to sit in the dugout, in the clubhouse, wherever. You know, obviously our guys did a great job. Kyle pitched an unbelievable game again. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, we get 2 runs in the first, and you know, obviously against a guy like Kershaw, you feel like you scored 10. You know, like it's huge. And now we got Kyle shoving into the 8th, and we got Chap throwing 100 and whatever at the end. So. Unbelievable feeling. We got another step to go. This isn't it. So we got to keep going. We got to keep grinding.
One last one. So you did it in Boston, John. How about one more time in Chicago?
Why not? Why not?
John Lester, he and Javier Baez, co-MVP. Congratulations. Why don't we talk to a few more Cubs while we're at it, as this team is headed back to the World Series. Chris Bryant is here. Chris, how you doing? Good. So your second year in the big leagues. It's been a pretty good ride so far, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm so spoiled. I mean, this is an unbelievable feeling. I mean, these fans are unbelievable, man. This is the coolest feeling of my life. I mean, this is unbelievable, but we're not done. We don't want this one. We want a different trophy.
Yeah.
We all know what that one is.
So when the crowd chants MVP, does that give you chills?
Every time. I mean, this is, you know, you never play for those awards. I mean, but for these people to, you know, chant that, it's unbelievable. But this was an unbelievable win for the city, the team, the fans, and we're just unbelievable happy.
What does it mean for you to know that you're bringing all these fans so much joy here tonight?
That's all we could ever ask for. I mean, baseball is a sport to kind of get you away from your problems, and this is the best feeling in the world. And, you know, these people here, these fans certainly deserve it way more than us. They've been waiting for a long time, but we're certainly not done.
Chris Bryant.
Thank you.
Addison Russell will join us now. I'll tell you what, if you watch the Cubs this year, besides obviously overall you guys being such a good team, you showed resiliency, and none more so in this round. After getting shut out back-to-back games, you came back and the offense kind of went crazy after that. Take me through the mindset after Game 3.
You know, just trying to get back to what we do best, you know, and that's just working the count. And you saw it there. I think Game 4, you know, and we just got back to Cubby baseball, and we got the motors going, and now it's history. So we're excited to do it in this city.
It really is history. Cubs haven't been to the World Series in a long time.
Yeah, man, and we're happy to do it here. We're happy to do it here. All the fans stayed here. You know, we have to get back to our fans, and they've been tremendous all year. Through the ups and downs, they were here, and that's so exciting. I've never been a part of anything like that, and it's just tremendous to be a part of.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Addison Russell, as we continue. Let's bring in some more Cubs. Ben Zobrist is making his way. David Ross is making his way. Ben, you've been on this stage before. In fact, you were just there last year. What makes this so special?
You know what? We're in the best stadium in all of the world right now. Wrigley Field. I mean, I love this stadium. I love baseball history, and this, man, this is incredible opportunity that I got to get a chance to be a part of this with this club, this organization. Boy, I couldn't be more blessed right now.
Well, now you get a chance to go make history. Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's get one more. David Ross.
That's unbelievable. Thank you guys so much. I love you to death. Thank you so much.
You have played a lot of baseball. You have won a lot of games. But this has been unlike anything else. This city loves you.
This city's amazing. This city's treated me with so much respect. These guys, it's a credit to my teammates. They've said tons of nice things about me and treat me with a lot of respect and a lot that I don't know that I deserve. And these guys have given me standing ovations and sing along with my walkout song and all the cool stuff that is being a Major League Baseball player. And I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to play in front of this group and to play on this team. I'm a very lucky individual, and thank you guys very much.
I've asked this before, but before we let you go, David Ross, how does it feel to say the Chicago Cubs are going to the World Series?
That sounds amazing. That sounds like they deserve it. These guys worked their tails off. They better get used to it. I just told Tom he's got to build a trophy case because you got a lot of young guys here. They're very talented. They play hard, a great organization, a great coaching staff from the top down. This is a phenomenal group in a great city. Chicago!
And with that, we send it back upstairs to Joe Buck.
Kevin, great job down there, my friend. Great job. And down goes David Ross, the 39-year-old in his final season. He's been a world champion before in 2013. He'll get a chance to go back to the World Series in 2016. You talk about the two MVPs. As you look at the reaction of David Ross. Over the rail he goes in his final season. What a way to go out. And now it's Javier Baez. October has been his coming out party.
I'm a man.
And he has been the man in the field with the bat.
I'm a man.
And then there's John Lester, who not only in the NLCS did he go 2-0, but 3-0 this postseason with a microscopic ERA of 0.86. They'll share the trophy. We'll continue on from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. We're here at Wrigley. The party is on. Cubs win it tonight 5-0, 4-2. And we'll send you out to the guys on the set out beyond the wall here at Wrigley. They're ready to go. Stay with us on FS1.
Yesterday, a wizard entered New York with a case full of magical creatures. And unfortunately, some have escaped. It was open?
Just a smidge.
Contain this, or it'll mean war.
I want to be a wizard.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
They say a lot of things about rain. Like how hard it's gonna fall. The things it does to your parade. We've got a saying about rain too. When it rains, it roars. The all-wheel drive lineup from Dodge. Domestic, not domesticated.
Now get 20% off MSRP cash allowance for an average of $6,400 in savings on select 2016 Journey Crossroad models in dealer stock.
This week, it's the NFL on Fox. Sam Bradford and the Vikings clash with Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Or Phillip Rivers and the Chargers face off with Matt Ryan and the Falcons. It all begins at noon Eastern. And don't miss a full slate of games on Fox.
It hurts. Sometimes it was broken. You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do, drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
But Ken Rosenthal is still outside getting guys. Here he is with Wilson Contreras.
Thanks. Wilson, your home run, it looked like you were floating around the bases. What was going through your mind during the trot?
I did. That was on my mind. I did. I was waiting for my pitch to hit, and I was looking for fastball middle up, and I just got a slider and tried to put the batter on it, and thanks God that I hit a homer.
What is it like to win the National League for this city and to go to the World Series?
Unbelievable. It's just been unbelievable. And I don't know what to say.
All right, last question. You heard the crowd tonight. You hear how loud it is. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when you face Cleveland here?
I didn't, but I knew that was going to be amazing this night. And we just did a little thing. We attacked Kershaw, and we just got the head to the fastball.
How about Kyle?
Amazing, unbelievable guy. I just put my fingers down and execute the pitches.
Wilson, congratulations. Thank you. Back to you.
Kenny, thank you. So into the clubhouse are the Cubs, the National League champion Chicago Cubs. And while they begin their celebration, goggles on, let's check in with Tom Verducci and Jake Arrieta.
Thanks. Jake Arrieta, the Cubs are going to the World Series for the first time in 71 years. What does that mean to you and this whole city?
Well, I mean, just to start out with the group of guys we've had for the last couple of years, knowing that we were really close last year, to be able to do a lot of things a little bit better this year, and get to this point, and not only for us, but the city, the 45,000 plus that are here, and the millions across the country that are part of this. We're sharing with everybody, and it's just to be 4 wins away, from a goal that hasn't been attained in a long time here is really impressive.
Jake, of course, you were traded here from Baltimore. When did you start to believe that something like this was possible?
Well, as soon as I saw the roster and the young players, not only on the 25 but the 40-man roster, knew that the growth and development was going to continue based on the character these guys had. And I was just thrilled to even be a part of it, knowing that I was going to be a part of something that could potentially win a world championship year in, year out in this organization. And I don't take it for granted.
Now, you were supposed to get the ball if there was a Game 7. Pitching and defense carried this team all season. Kyle Hendricks made sure you didn't have to start a Game 7. What do you think of the job he did?
I mean, he gave up 2 hits, so he could have been better, but 7 1/3, I think he faced the minimum through 7. Just speaks to his poise, his preparation. This guy, he'll strike out the side and put his head down and walk back to the dugout, but I promise you he cares. And we're fortunate to have a guy like that. A guy that most teams might pass on because of his velocity or his lack of dominant stuff, but the guy can really pitch. And, he's a guy I'd be more than happy to give the ball to any game.
Jake, we'll see you next at the World Series. How's that sound?
Sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Tom, Kenny, Kevin Burkhardt, great job down there on the field. And now fully into the clubhouse are the Cubs. The celebration is on and out on the streets as well, not just around Wrigley Field, but all over the city of Chicago and beyond. Kevin Burkhardt has made it back to the set. He's there with the guys. Kevin, all yours. Great job tonight.
You too, Joe. Wouldn't be here if it weren't for the Chicago PD, I'll tell you that. I was like Adrian Peterson through the hole. Unbelievable. What a scene here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And welcome to the postgame show presented by Lethal Weapon on Fox.
this is historic. That's what it is. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And wow, just inside for that trophy presentation. I've never felt anything like it.
By the way, great job, partner. You crushed it down there.
Appreciate it, man. Frank, you are Chicago. What does it feel like?
You can hear it. I mean, Chicago, if we expected a big celebration for this Cubs team, they went out and put it on the line right away, off and running, big hits early, got to Clayton Kershaw early. They did what they had to do to win a National League championship. And if you're in Chicago tonight, this is where you want to be because it is crazy and electric out here right now.
I second that.
You know, Kevin, you saw kids, you saw parents, you saw grandparents all crying. But what I'm most excited about tonight is for the first time in a really long time, we own the fall and not football, and that's a good thing. The whole world is watching tonight.
I think your baseball, this is great for the game. Isn't it, Pete? I mean, this is great for the sport. This is a national story. Sports news doesn't matter, the Chicago Cubs.
Well, we should have knew we were going to win it because Joe wants to watch football tomorrow afternoon. And now him and his wife's going to watch football.
That was funny.
Oh, this is a great game for the Cubs. They played as hard as they possibly could. It's unbelievable.
What a scene that is. I mean, these fans, joyous, loud, celebratory. I mean, they haven't seen this. It hasn't, most of them haven't. It hasn't happened in 71 years.
Well, you know, this team, man, it's been built over a few years. They played so well all year long. I mean, they've laid it on the line. I told you guys earlier, this team is complete. They're going to be something to deal with. This team can win the World Series. You got to watch out for this team.
Most impressive,
man. It's just fun to watch.
It's just fun to be here.
You know, Kevin, I mean, Frank, Pete, look, we've all won pennants, Kevin, and it's been special. You won more than any of us up here. But I think we all admit this is different, this is historical, and this transcends sports. This is bigger than baseball, it's bigger than sports, and it's emotional. Someone who loves baseball as much as I do, as much as all of us do, you see the emotion back here, and this is the greatest thing for our game, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
You know, I think about Tom Ricketts, who bought this team, and he said, hey, want to win the World Series? We want to redo Wrigley, and we want to be good in the community. So this is a guy that went to school in Chicago. This is a guy that met his wife in the stands at Wrigley Field. I mean, what an incredible thing to buy the hometown team. I know he wasn't born here, but to buy the hometown team, and now this.
What'd you say? Listen to them. They love their Cubs.
They love the Cubs.
You know.
Can you hear that, Cleveland?
You know, Kevin, going to Tom Ricketts, the owner, a product of Chicago University, undergrad and business school,
yes.
A fan of the Cubs, and really a long-term vision when it comes to investing and bringing in Theo and then Joe Maddon and then John Lester. It's really been a masterpiece.
And I've met Mr. Ricketts plenty of times. What a class act. I mean, if you meet the guy, you won't even know he's an owner. I mean, he's real genuine. He comes up and says hello to everybody else. But this has been very patient the way they built this team. Theo did his thing once again. He did it in Boston. He's done it in Chicago. It took a lot of patience. I remember how it was after the third year. People were going, this team was going nowhere. And then the next year, they made the magical moves of bringing in Lester. They put the kids were ready to go. And 1 year later, they just won the National League Championship Series.
The Cubs prove you don't have to take that long to rebuild. 4 years or so, Theo did the job here. So other teams should take notice of that. Not worrying about an 8 or 9 year development program. You can get to the top if you sign the right people and have the right players.
Right, and draft like they did for sure. And that even goes back to Jim Hendry, the former general manager. Obviously, some of those players under him. Joe Maddon got out of his contract last year, Frank. Cubs snatched him up. Guy's been in the World Series with Tampa, and he clearly has brought something to this team. Clearly.
Well, you saw what he did in Tampa. And when he got here, he embraced this whole Cubs, everything about the losing and the gold and all this other crap. Joe embraced it. He had fun with it. They made a lot of jokes last year. Right away, they started to win. And this year, he said he had unfinished business, and they're going to the World Series. It's a reality now. It's going to be one heck of a World Series, as I'm sure the Cleveland Indians are waiting for them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be one special World Series with two very good clubs.
I don't know if this is true or not, but The young players may look at Joe as a father type, the way he treats them. He gets them to play hard every day. He gets them to believe in themselves every day, and that's why they're on top.
You know, a team that believes in sabermetrics so much and is big data driven, you know, give Theo a lot of credit to bring in an incredible communicator like Joe Maddon. And isn't it a coincidence that both Theo's past hires are now playing against each other in the World Series? Tito and Joe Maddon.
And they're both might be two of the best player managers in baseball.
Why? What makes them so good?
You know, they really relate to these players, and they're more like a father figure, but a brother too. Both of these managers are great in their clubhouses, and you're going to see it in the field in the World Series. They both believe in their clubs. They got a heartbeat of their clubhouses.
We're in for a treat, Cleveland against Chicago.
You know,
those are two really good teams.
I talked to some of their players in the practice, and one of the things they talked about is Joe says there are no rules. Wear whatever you want. If you wear flip-flops, you have to paint your toenails. Just go out and play hard. I said, wow, that's a very liberal clubhouse. I love it.
Well, his motto was try not to suck. You heard it right away with you.
That's what he said out there.
We didn't suck. No. You know, that's the type of attitude he has. He's real laid back, but he's one heck of a players manager. You got to respect that.
You know, Kevin, this is not, I mean, the really big picture is the four horsemen at the top. When you talk about the owner and Theo and Joe Maddon and John Lester, but it's about subtleties. If you think about the signings of Lackey, Ben Zobrist, David Ross, Dexter Fowler, and the trade at the July deadline for Ryan Dempster, 1-for-1 for a young man called Kyle Hendricks. Today looks pretty big.
Great call. That is a great call. I have to touch on just tonight's game because, you know, I know this is overall Cubs. It's a celebration. We're looking in the clubhouse right now. You can see it's pretty bonkers. Trust me, behind us is bonkers too. But tonight, on a night when the Dodgers threw their best pitcher, arguably the best pitcher in baseball, Kyle Hendricks, with as good as a postseason performance, Pete, as you will ever see in this game. I mean, he was simply amazing.
Well, after 70, he had 21 batters he faced.
Right.
Picked the guy off, got him into a double play. You can't pitch any better than this kid did tonight. He's smart, and he's got control, and he knows what he's doing.
Well, he went to Dartmouth. We know he's smart. He was the 8th pick in 2011 by the Texas Rangers. 8th round. And, you know, he saved the best for last. He's been unhittable all year tonight. Tonight was no exception.
Cubs faced the minimum batters in this game because, like Pete said, pick off. They had a couple double plays. In fact, one to end the league championship series, Frank.
Kyle Hendricks, first pitch, hard-hitting ball. That was it for the night. He was magical tonight. He showed us tonight why he's being considered as a Cy Young winner this year. He's in the top 3. He could win it. You never know how those votes are going to go. But he was magical here at Wrigley all year, and he showed it again tonight. Frank, amazing performance.
Frank, you know what I really enjoyed, Pete? I don't know if you guys noticed this. He's like a quiet assassin. No emotion.
No.
He gives you nothing. I mean, those are the most difficult guys to face because you can never read them.
Strikes out the side, walks off his heads down.
Yeah.
I can tell you what, though, he pitched in the middle of the plate a lot tonight. He mixed his pitches so much, he was able to throw that 90-mile-per-hour fastball because he had guys off balance with the curveball and the changeup, and that 90 looked like it was 95. There was a lot of swings and misses tonight in the middle of the plate.
I didn't see him reach 90 tonight, did you? 89.
No. 89.
He got stuck on 89.
89 and 90. He did a couple times.
But, Frank, if you talk to the guys that play on that team, they'll tell you this guy's an unbelievable competitor. Ping pong, free throws, pull, you name it. He's usually the guy that wins. A little bit like our guy, Mr. John Smoltz.
I'll tell you, yeah, that's right. You know, I think about a lot of things, but when I was out there doing the trophy presentation and David Ross came up, I mean, the crowd reaction to David Ross, who has not been a long-time Cub at all, but he has endeared himself here. He had one of his best statistical seasons here. And then you could see he got emotional. Guy in his last year, you just went through this. The emotions of playing in his last year. What do you think it is for David Ross, who's clearly made an attachment to this city?
You know, he's a manager in the waiting. David Ross is one of the most respected guys I've been around by management, by managers, by players, and obviously by the fans. But if you think about the subtleties that Jed Hoyer brings to this team with Theo, of bringing in David Ross and John Lester, not only is he the personal catcher, 32 of 33 starts, but more importantly, he is a lieutenant in that clubhouse. He's an extension to Joe Maddon. He polices the clubhouse. He makes sure everyone's accountable, and he's their leader.
Well, you can see him.
That's rare for a backup captain.
Absolutely. You can see him all the time during the game talking to everybody on the bench. He is totally involved in the ball game.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy David Rolfs is. He was that way with Cincinnati. You know, he's not a star player, but he is a star. If that makes any sense.
It does make sense.
Captain, a future manager. I can see him being a future manager in the next few years. He loves the game. He's great in the clubhouse. He polices these young guys, too. I've heard a lot of great things about David Ross. Plus, he went to Auburn University. A lot of big stars have come out of there.
Here we go. Here we go. Frankie.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
To get in there.
Hey, but I tell you what, man. We said it's going to be mayhem, though. You look behind this, it's mayhem. I've never seen anything like this. These people are going insane.
Look at this scene.
It's madness.
It's just a scene around up. Producers are talking to me like I can actually hear them right now. It's so loud. I have no idea what you guys are saying. You know, I think about with all the stuff we talked about for the game, department stuff, the GOAT stuff, right? Is this team just so young that they don't even realize the pressure that comes with it, Frank? I mean,
I don't know about that. I mean, these guys that embrace it, they're very good. Young players are better nowadays because they train a lot differently than we did coming up when we were minor leaguers. This team is going to be something that force me reckon with for a long time. I know I said 10 years last week. That might be a long time, but easily 5 to 7 years, you can see this club team be very, very competitive with all these young kids getting older and smarter at the big league level.
Yeah, we hate to hear that in Cincinnati.
On the south side, too. I mean, this Cubs team's going to be something to deal with for a while.
You know, Frank, Pete, when you looked at all those interviews, Kevin, and you did most of them down there, and what a great job you did, by the way.
Yeah, he did, man.
One common theme, Kevin, that I heard from all these guys is they're all humble, they're all respectful, they all look around, but they all have a little bit of twist of swagger and confidence.
Yes, they do.
Which is pretty darn cool.
Well, when you win 200 games in the last 2 years, you're going to have a little swagger. They got 97 last year, 103 this year. Is that 200, Frank?
Hey, something like that.
Are we going back to math?
We're going back to math. I tell you what, though. What's Bryant? 24, 25. Could be the league.
He's the old man here at Rizzo.
You know, they got 22, 23 up the middle. They could be here a long time. I'm telling you, man, these guys are good, getting valuable experience. Watch out for this Cub team.
You know, Kev, the one thing we talked a little bit about earlier, you know, unlike the NFL and the NBA, there is no correlation to how many games you win in the regular season compared to how well you're going to play it in the offseason.
Right.
Yeah, they win 103, and Pete, you said they are the best player, the best team in baseball. But give them credit. They've walked the walk, and they've put themselves in a position 4 more games to break yet another curse.
Well, sometimes when everybody thinks you're the best team, everybody thinks you're supposed to win, you don't naturally win. But the Cubs did win, so we have to take our hats off for it.
We do. We're looking at the celebration going on right now in the Cubs clubhouse. And as you would imagine, when you haven't been to a World Series in 71 years, it's getting freaky-deaky in there, Frank.
I tell you what. I'm scared to turn around. You think about what they did to get here. They went to L.A., didn't play well, didn't swing well, and right away they blew it open in the last 3 games. We've seen the team that won 103 games. They were phenomenal the last three games, and they really showed the doctor that they were the much better team.
You know, Frank, I had an opportunity to take a walk with Tom Ricketts, the general partner of the Chicago Cubs, just a few days ago, and he showed me around the clubhouse. One of the rooms he showed me was a nightclub.
Yes.
So after games, confetti. There's like Live nightclub in Miami. They just have confetti everywhere. It's a party. And I think we're seeing that right now. But you know what, Kevin? The most impressive thing of this whole masterpiece, and Eddie from Pearl Jam is dancing with the Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
Is the culture shift. Gentlemen, it takes sometimes 100 years to shift a culture, and Theo has done it in 5 years.
Wait, can we go back to see Eddie Vedder in the middle from Pearl Jam, in the middle of that champagne celebration? I mean, we're watching it live with you guys at home, so there's Eddie Vedder. I mean, that's not bad. You're the lead singer of Pearl Jam, and all of a sudden you're in there getting down
Well,
some
we had dinner with him last night. He said he was waiting for this moment a long time, too, and he was so nervous about him and John Cusack, and I'm sure Cusack's in there somewhere, too. These guys are ready for a party tonight. They're happy for the Cubs, and they're proud of them.
It's your buddy,
He was asking for you last night at dinner.
You didn't show up, Petey.
I was flying, man. I was flying.
Wait, hold on. There's Eric Kinsky.
Show up.
Eric Kinsky, one of the Cubs coaches, who is he's a big man, and he's looking to get it going now. Look at these guys. This whole scene inside the Cubs clubhouse. Cubs beat the Dodgers tonight, 5-0. They faced the minimum amount of batters behind Kyle Hendricks. And guess what? The last time in a playoff game.
Can't find a better man.
Hey, Kevin.
I'm sorry.
Kevin, I have a question.
After that.
Hey, Petey, I do have one. Okay, it's over.
What?
I have a question for everybody here. I do have one question. If this is just to get to the World Series, what's going to happen if they win the World Series?
I don't know.
Holy smokes.
You know what? I'm looking forward to the next block when Pete sings Jeremy and Even Flow from Pearl Jam. That's going to be. Well, can I say the stat, though, before we go? So the stat is the last playoff game where the minimum amount of batters were faced, Don Larson's perfect game.
Wow.
That's how long it's been.
He was phenomenal, man. I'm telling you. He hit every spot on the plate tonight, keeping him off balance. This guy, he could be the Cy Young winner this year, along with John Lester. It could go 1-2, but it's going to be one heck of a year. I know Max Scherzer's involved, too, but he showed us why he was so great tonight.
Look at Joe Maddon.
Kevin, can I tell you one thing about Joe Maddon?
That's beautiful.
So, Pete, I played against Joe Maddon for a long time. Started with the Angels. He was the mastermind behind Mike Scioscia. He was a bench coach over there. And I was a young lad in Seattle. And then he went to Tampa, and we really faced him. And playing third base against him, playing shortstop against him, he was one of the hardest managers to go up against because he's so unpredictable. But here's the most impressive part about Joe is players will tell you the truth in private. And I've never, in 20 years, have had one player tell me anything negative about this man. Give this guy a lot of credit.
That was Joe with the embrace and the kiss of his wife. And his wife Jay here to take it all in with Joe. And you know, it's
nice to win, buddy. It's nice.
Feels good, right?
Yes.
Feels good. This feels different in some ways. You know, not only the history, but there's so many storylines of it, you know, and I think about, you know, since we're talking about Joe, I think about Joe Maddon coming here, and he'll tell you himself, you know, Pennsylvania guy, grew up, you know, blue collar type guy, and he's really embraced the city. He's been living downtown since he's been here. He's out walking around getting breakfast and getting dinner every day, and kind of become one with the community. And now he'll never have to buy another meal again if they can get 4 more wins.
You know, he's really laid back, but he's the most prepared manager in baseball, and I've heard that from a lot of people. Under Joe Maddon, they said he's the most prepared manager in baseball, and you seen it. That's why you have success. I mean, he's been winning nonstop in the American League. He comes in nationally, he's winning nonstop. There's something to the method to this madness here. He is well prepared.
Well, it's a little easier to prepare when you got the kind of players that he's got, okay? Because it's hard to make mistakes when you're filling out that lineup card. When you
that is true, but in Tampa, he didn't have those type of players.
I understand.
And still
I agree with you.
That being said, on those lines, when they were shut out twice, even when they were shut out once, we were calling, hey, what do you do if you're Joe Maddon? Do you make radical changes? What do you do? He made a couple tweaks, but he never made the radical change. For the most part, he stuck with his guys like Addison Russell, who delivered big time. So, got to give him credit. He stayed with his instincts, Frank. He stayed with the guys that he trusted.
Yes, he did. You know, Pete, I remember that press conference he had on the first day.
Yeah.
He bought everyone drinks. And now for the rest of his life, he won't ever have to buy a drink ever again.
Starting right now.
Starting right now.
Well, you know, Joe will keep them focused, but what we're seeing tonight, these guys got to get right back at it 2 days from now. Okay, or Tuesday night, 3 days from actually. So you can enjoy this, but you got to win 4 more games. And I think all the Cub players, as we hear them said tonight, they understand that.
Go ahead, Al. I was just going to say, you know, hang on, we'll get to that thought in a second. Let's go back to the field at Wrigley. Ken Rosenthal is live with Dexter Fowler. Guys.
Thanks, Kevin. Dexter, you've been here a couple of years now. Can you sense what this means to the city?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome for the city. You know, for the fans, they waited a long time for this, and you know, we're here, but we got to keep it pushing.
Have you had people come up to you on the street and just say, "Hey, man, it's been forever. Let's go"?
You know what? I've had people come up to me on the streets and just say thank you, and you can see it. You know what it's for, and it puts a smile on your face.
Now, looking ahead, what do you know about the Indians?
They're young, they're eager, they you know, they've been in the drought too, so it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight, and you know, to the end.
Can you imagine now if you had not signed back?
You know, I just try to go out and embrace the moment. You know, I believe things happen for a reason, and you know, I didn't go over there for a reason, so I came here and got a different player for me.
Hey, what about Kyle Dexter? What made him so good tonight?
Kyle it was awesome. I had the best view in the house. Maybe besides Willie, because he was calling the pitches and it was right there. So, you know, he was hitting the spots today, and just the swings they were taking was awesome to see.
Were you guys, or how concerned were you about the possibility of a Game 7 and the free-for-all that might have been?
This was our Game 7. You know, we knew we were playing it. We were facing a Bulldog over there in Kershaw, and, you know, he beat us last time. So it was a matter about going out and getting it done.
Dexter, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kevin, back to you.
Dexter, Kenny, thank you very much. Billy Williams.
Sweet swinging Billy Williams.
That was cool. I thought that was cool, too, on the podium when Theo Epstein was talking about all the great Cubs and citing them.
He loves his organization.
Yes, he
was
does.
talking about this team earlier in the year. He said he felt this was the year, too. So, Billy, you're right, buddy.
Kev, is it about time for us to just congratulate the Dodgers on the year they had?
Absolutely.
They had a wonderful year, and they just come up a little bit short to a great team.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I think they did have a great year. And I think to some degree, especially when you consider that Kershaw was out for 10 weeks, they overachieved.
And I don't believe Clayton has anything to hang his head about tonight's game. I mean, he just didn't have it.
He just didn't have it.
He'll be the first to tell you that.
But in that respect, and you know, I'll get back to that in a second, because I do want to address Dexter Fowler. What do you think, Alex? He said this was our Game 7. So it's almost like even the Cubs felt, no, we got to win tonight.
Dexter said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question about it. You know, and I had an opportunity to work out several off seasons with Dexter Fowler, tremendous worker. And, you know, everyone needs a little luck. Baltimore had him signed.
They did.
They backed away from the contract, fell right back into the Cubs' lap. He signed a 2-year deal, $8 million this year, $9 million next year. What a great deal for the Chicago Cubs.
That worked out pretty well, didn't it, Frank?
It did, because this guy was our catalyst the last 2 years. He's been getting on non-stop on both sides of the plate for this Cubs team the last 2 years. And when he goes early in the game, this team goes. We saw it tonight, come right out with a big double against Kershaw and score the game's first run. So, yes, they needed Dexter Fowler to be on this ball club this year.
Hey, Frank, is there a common theme here?
What's that?
All these guys, quality guys.
Yes.
Great clubhouse. I mean, every one of those guys. So give Theo and Jet a lot of credit. They know exactly what they're doing.
So David Ross out on the field. The Cubs now are starting after the party inside, starting to come outside and lose their shirts.
I want to know who the guy in the Speedo is.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the Speedo thing.
Yeah.
Hide the kids. Hide the kids. I don't know if I like this meeting.
It's got to be a relief pitcher.
Oh, my gosh. So
it's getting crazy, Petey.
Oh, my gosh.
They're coming on out to the field now after the celebration in the clubhouse. From all we know, a lot of the fans still inside. There's a gazillion fans out here behind us right now taking pictures, selfies, and we're watching it right along with you at home.
Kevin, how are we going to get out of here? I'm concerned.
I'm not. We're not getting out of here.
I don't think there's a car going to move in 10 blocks around this place.
Pete Rose has a helicopter for us.
Where's Petey? I'm sorry. I think you said a helicopter, not flatulence. There's a difference, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
Got it.
Pete, we're off tomorrow. Can we go to the movies?
Go in the zoo, man. What's wrong with you?
In Cleveland. Back home. The Cleveland Zoo or the Cincinnati Zoo?
Jack Reacher. Go see Jack Reacher.
Hey, check out Ross on the field with his kids. I mean, how great is this? Is this what it's about or what?
Going to retire, but he'll be a manager soon. The man loves baseball. He knows baseball.
Hey,
and
Kevin.
Another thing, if a coaching opportunity ever comes up in Chicago, he'll be the next coach if anybody leaves.
Chris Bryant, who, you know, sitting out there, and boy, and just on the podium with him for a couple moments before he just really enjoying it, just taking it in and enjoying it. I almost felt like he was almost incredulous that it was real.
Oh, he knew it was real, but he's a young kid with tremendous talent. The sky's the ceiling for him. Could win his first MVP this year. But with him and Rizzo together, they're one heck of a combination. I can't wait for this World Series to start because there's going to be such great pitching on both sides. I'm sure there's going to be some close, hard-fought ball games.
Isn't it nice to start your career off being Rookie of the Year, then being MVP the next year? It's all downhill from there.
It's not bad.
We wouldn't know, Pete. We wouldn't know. Can I share one pretty cool stat with you guys?
Please do.
Since 1995, since the wild card era began, 22 teams have won 100 games. Only 2 of those teams have completed the mission.
I know one of them.
1998 and 2009 New York Yankees.
Led by Alex Rodriguez. There we go.
And Andy Pettit.
There we go.
Give me a high five. 2 seconds.
Hey, was that another Yankee stat?
Yes, it was.
It was a Yankee stat.
Yes, it was.
But I tell you what, though, I can't wait for this World Series. Though. I mean, this is going to be. It's got that narrative under there with Tito Francona versus Joe Maddon. You know, Theo Epstein in the middle of this. You know, this is going to be something special. Hard fought. I just, you know, when are we getting there?
When are we what?
Well, you can,
when are we getting there?
When we get off tonight, you can drive if you want.
Can I go with you?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I only got a 2-seater.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
You're going to stop enough anyway. I got to eat.
Cracker Barrel, man. What's wrong with you?
Let me ask you a question, unrelated to your helicopter or your 2-seater. So, all of this tonight, Cubs get back to the World Series for the first time in 71 years. And by the way, there was no, LCS then. It was just you're in the World Series. But as we continue to watch the celebration, I'm just curious, Pete, what you think. After getting over this hump, I know they haven't won it since 08. Does the pressure go away now that they've accomplished this and now that they're in the World Series?
Well, I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks on the show. The pressure's the playoffs. The World Series, Alex, is all fun.
That's right.
You know, someone's going to lose, someone's going to win. You know, obviously you want to win the World Series. Of course. But just being there, it's the showcase for baseball. That's the World Series.
Right. That's exactly right, Pete. The most pressure is in Division Series. Then comes this series, and then the World Series. You're in the dance.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but when Pete said it the first time, I agreed. I felt the same way in 2009. Once you got to the dance, you just felt like you're here.
Well, did you see the swings that the Chicago Cubs took tonight? That offense was so aggressive. Everybody was so relaxed. When we were talking about it in the green room, they came ready to play tonight. They were taking some 2-0 swings every time. It was amazing to watch their offense tonight.
That's why you could tell Clayton didn't have his good stuff.
Yeah.
Because they had no bad swings the first 5 innings. Even the outs they were making were good swings. The foul backs were good swings. Alex alluded to that in the green room there. They were just, he didn't have it. He didn't have it.
On that point that he didn't have it, he threw 15 curveballs, one of them for a strike. One. Think about that's Clayton Kershaw's signature pitch, right? This is the scene on the field in Wrigley right now. Looks like most of the Cubs have made it out. Families have joined in. Some really great pictures there. But let's stay with that for a second. So the game itself tonight. Kershaw and Alex, you talked about this in the pregame show. You were a little concerned on the extra rest because you didn't want him to kind of hump up and be throwing 96, 95. You thought he might be overthrowing. And that's how he started the game.
Yeah, I loved him every time on 3-day rest. I thought it was just right for him. One of the things he did so well, especially in game 2, he dotted the outside corner. And he was 92 to 94. He had great feel. He had great diversity with his pitches. Today, it happened exactly what I thought. He was, felt probably too good. Was amped up, throwing 96, 97. And the curveball didn't have a feel.
Right. Didn't help that Tolles dropped the routine fly ball in the first. I mean, that kind of led to a little bit of a landslide early there.
I believe, Alex, even though Pettit said he don't know a damn thing about pitching.
He did. He did.
But also, you just never know. That 4 out of 10 days of pitching could have took a toll on this man. He took, 2 months off with a bad back and had to pitch so much. The workload might have caught up with him. Maybe he was a little off tonight, get into this cool weather here in Chicago, and he didn't have his great stuff.
I think the best thing that happened for the Cubs, and this had me concerned because they won 103 games and they weren't tested, obviously in September. The best thing that happened to them is getting pushed by San Francisco to Game 5 and pushed by the Dodgers. I think now we're ready to have a tremendous World Series by the best 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, it should be great. But, I mean, to your point, shutout back-to-back games is a big deal for an offense that was 3rd best in Major League Baseball. So that, even after the first round when they were tested, that really was a test, Pete. I mean, you get shut out a couple times, you're starting to wonder about yourself.
I don't know too many teams would beat Hendricks tonight. He was on his game, man. And the Cubs offense were on their game. I mean, they scored 5 runs, but they didn't need to score more than 1. And they come through. I mean, it was just a great game for the Cubs.
But Pete, are we giving enough credit to Jed Hoyer and Theo Epstein? I mean, we all talk about 6 years, $155 million for John Lester, obviously the signing of Joe Maddon. But how about in 2012, in July, the subtle trade for the 8th rounder from the Texas Rangers, 1-for-1 for Ryan Dempster? How are we looking with that move?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Another thing we didn't talk about the other night. Let's give John Lackey some credit.
Yeah.
They were sleepwalking going into that game after being shut out twice. He came out, being the true veteran that he is, amped up, loud, yelling at players, getting them going. He really snapped them out of that little funk they were in and pitched a great 5 innings, and it kind of helped lead the resurgence of this comeback you just saw for them to win the NLCS.
I think it was kind of fitting that Rizzo caught the double play to end the series, because this is the guy that's been the longest Cub. This is the guy, and even though he was traded around, he's been on a couple teams for a guy here. He was really, I think, the first of the renaissance for Chicago. You know, to come up and say, all right, this is our first young player, and now we start building from here. And considering the slump that he was in, he was on a torrid pace the last few games of this series, so that's got to feel great for him, too.
Did he keep that ball in his back pocket?
Oh, yeah, he
yes,
did.
He did.
Not getting rid of that thing, Pete.
You know, and talk about baseball being a mental game. It all started in the 9th inning. They were losing 6-0, and he shatters his bat in 47 pieces. We were all laughing in here. And he admitted to us, Kevin, the postgame the other night.
He did.
That got him going. He went home, had a great night of sleep, and then he's been a man on a mission.
Well, he's on fire right now, because that home run he hit tonight looked like he was in slow motion. Woo! I mean, he's in high focus right now. Look like he's slowing down the baseball. He's on a tear. They need that going into the World Series. But they got some hitters going, and they're going to need it against this great pitching Cleveland Indian team.
He almost hit one through that cement wall out there, too.
He did.
Yes, yes.
What do you think these guys are feeling right now? I mean, as they're out in the field.
Dizzy.
Yeah.
They're dizzy right now from all the alcohol that was squirted in their mouth.
A lot of champagne being spread around.
Yeah.
I think they got a right to enjoy this one.
They've earned it.
We continue to look at the pictures with you live from inside Wrigley. Players outside.
How many times you do that, Alex? How many times you win the pennant?
I just remember 2009. I remember that. It's the greatest feeling in the world when you win a championship, Pete, isn't it? You went to 6 World Series, right?
Well, didn't you win 5 World Series?
You 5? No, that was my buddy Andy Pettit.
How many did you win? 4, 3?
I won 1.
No, 9.
Won 1? Get out of here.
Oh my God! Throw me off the stage.
Same as him?
Oh my
Pete,
God!
Same as him?
Yes,
Everybody
that's
didn't
it.
play for the big red machine.
I know that, man.
How many Hall of Famers you had on your team?
Enough.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You got lucky.
These guys might be the big blue machine someday, baby,
You
the way
got
they
that
play.
right. But it's great to have great talent around you, and that's what this Cub team have right now. A lot of great talent.
2 things. I love you guys, and I love hanging out with you. But the other thing is, there's no way we're getting out of here, so we're going to stay on the air for another 30 minutes. Let's do it. When we come back, we'll hear from the Cubs manager, Joe Maddon. We'll hear from a bunch more inside of Wrigley. We'll hang out with these guys here at Wrigley. The Cubs going back to the World Series for the first time since 1945. 71 years. Murphy's bleachers across the street. It's Bedlam. Rally the troops. It's a long night. There's no sleep tonight in Chicago. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs, they won today, Big Hurts. On to the World Series. We're back.
There are some voices that can't be ignored.
You come at the king, you best not miss. It's time to grow up. Culture of winning matters. We're watching a revolution.
Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
We're downtown to see if guys can tell the difference between a Joseph A. Bank suit and more expensive designer brands. Which one is the Armani suit? The polka dotted tie. Please reveal. Oh my goodness. Do they all say Joseph A. Bank? Very impressive. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
I always take the road less traveled. And if the road hasn't been traveled at all, I make my own road. Pave my own path. Build a shower to clean me off with the power of Old Spice Dirt Destroyer so I can get to the game.
When I was a little kid, I made a deal with myself that I would never grow up.
We met when we were very young. I was 17, he was 18.
We made the movie, The Book of Life. We started doing animation with a Surface Book. You can actually draw on the screen.
So crisp. I love it.
It's almost like this super powerful computer, and a tablet had the perfect baby. It's a typewriter for writing scripts. It's a sketchbook for sketches. It's a canvas for painting. You can't do that on a Mac.
All right, we're gonna take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed roof. Sunset.
Try the new Bacon King with a half pound of beef and 6 strips of crispy bacon. It's truly the Bacon King, only at Burger King.
Experience the thrill of the Lexus IS F Sport, because the ultimate expression of power is control. Get up to $5,000 customer cash on select 2016 models. See your Lexus dealer.
The Cowboys have no defense. They're nothing. They've been nothing for the last 4 years.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema before it's available on Netflix or Redbox.
You are Tarzan. Tarzan.
There's 1,000 men down there, 20,000 more on the way.
We don't stand a chance.
Climb on my back. Don't think for a second you're saving my life.
The Legend of Tarzan. Movies start at Channel 125.
You're here to buy a car. What would help is simply being able to recognize a fair price. TrueCar has pricing data on every make and model. So all you have to do is search for the car you want. There it is. Now you're an expert in less than a minute. This is TrueCar.
Are you a Christian author with a book ready to share with the world but need a publisher? We'll place your book for sale at all major mainstream booksellers, offering it to millions. We do it all.
Call for your free author submission kit at 800-622-1421.
MLB.com at Bat, the official postseason app of Major League Baseball.
Welcome back, some of you, to the postgame show presented by Lethal Weapon on Fox. Looking high above Wrigley Field, and we are on the corner of Sheffield and Waveland with that mass of people outside of center field. What a scene. I don't think I've ever been a part of anything like it here in Chicago. Why? Cubs are going to the World Series for the first time in 71 years. Welcome back to our show. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. We'll be with you for the next half hour. Plenty of interviews still to come from inside Wrigley. We'll hear from Joe Maddon as well. If you missed it somehow, if you're out to dinner, if you're on Mars, let's show you what happened tonight in the ball game as the Cubs, with a win over the Dodgers. So how did they get it, right? Clayton Kershaw on the mound. They had to go through him. First inning, they got to him quickly, too. Cubs are all rallied up. They're fired. They're playing a song. Maybe it's a Pearl Jam song. I don't know. So Chris Bryant is the guy that's going to get it started. And that's going to score Fowler, who got a base hit to start things off. So 2 batters into the game, and it's already the Cubs in front. And then Wilson Contreras ripping that from Kershaw. Slider over the yard, and it's 4-0. John Cusack says, yeah. Not done. Kershaw's wondering what's going on here tonight. Anthony Rizzo, who's been red hot the last couple of games, just gets into one with the lean.
Beautiful swing, Kevin.
Kershaw can't believe it.
Ball was down.
Decent pitch. Good result for the Cubs. 9th inning. 5-0. Runner on, 1 out. Aroldis Chapman against Yasiel Puig to short. 6-4 World Series. And the Cubs with a 5-0 shutout. They face the minimum Dodgers tonight. Merce bleachers going nuts across the street from us, and the posing of the pitchers and the white W flag is out, and the drought is over. First World Series since 1945 for the Chicago Cubs, and their manager, Joe Maddon, is with Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm with Joe and Jay Maddon. Right. Joe, you said before this game you had nothing but optimistic thoughts about Game 6. Did you envision a game like this?
That was pretty clean. You give our guys a lot of credit. It starts on the mound. The way that Kyle pitched permitted us to really get in the flow of that game. And then the defense, once again, is spectacular. We start getting big hits, opposite field hits, which I absolutely loved. I expected to play well, but that's about as clean as you're going to play in this kind of a situation.
Joe, this city really embraced you from day one here. What does it mean for you to win for this town?
It means a lot. It really does. I mean, I don't let on a whole lot when people bring it up, but I come from northeastern Pennsylvania and a lot of tradition within that particular area, and then you come out here and you know the tradition. I learned everything about the Cubs, and you hear about the parents and the grandparents and the great-grandparents and how they've been wanting to do this for so many years. So then you get to become part of it, and you know that if it were to happen, it's beyond special. So none of that's lost on me. I do think of it. I thought of it coming to the ballpark today. Now we have 4 more games to really make them happy.
But tell me about the 9th inning. Not that you take anything ever for granted, but with the lead in the 9th inning, 3 outs to go, What were your thoughts?
Well, I felt pretty good about Aroldis out there. He only had to use 3 pitches to get the 2 outs in the previous inning, and I like that a lot. Yeah, you're just trying not to get too fast with everything. Let the game play out. Like I said up there, trust your guys, trust your players. And whenever you're feeling a little bit stressed out, I say that to myself. Just trust your guys. We got good guys out there, and that helps me relax.
Joe and Jay, we'll see you at the World Series.
That sounds awesome, brother. Thanks.
Thank you. Back to you, Kevin.
Tom and Joe, thank you very much. Last time the Cubs won the World Series, they won 98 games. They were managed by Charlie Grimm that year. They lost in 7 games to the Detroit Tigers. Hal Newhouser, the Hall of Famer, threw a complete game in Game 7 to beat him. It was just after the war. The war had just ended. Travel was tough in this country. That's how long ago it's been for the Cubs until now.
Hal Newhouser flew into Cincinnati to watch me play when I signed with the Reds the next day.
Is that right?
Yep.
Wow.
So I go back with Hal Newhouser.
How about that? I didn't even know that. That's great stuff, Pete. Just like that. What are you feeling, Pete? I mean, you're one of the greatest players to ever play this game. I mean, all of you guys are, obviously. But Pete, you've been around the longest. When you watch this tonight, what are you feeling?
Well, I'm like the Cub players. I really feel and love the people that root for us every day. These fans are unbelievable. I mean, wouldn't you like to play in front of these fans? I mean, you played in front of pretty good fans in New York.
Of course.
But wouldn't you like to play in front of these Cub fans?
Yeah, I mean,
they're right behind you. You better say yes.
We have the greatest fans in New York, but these fans, I'll tell you, not only are they hungry and thirsty, but they're very, very classy. Good for them. And good for you, Pete.
Good for you, Pete.
Listen to them. They love you.
Good for you, Alex.
A-Rod chance in Chicago.
There we go.
The switchboard is on. The Yankees are calling the line one.
I think we have Brian Cashman on call block tonight.
But let me get back about Chicago fans.
Wait, hold on, Frank, 1 second. Okay. I hear Javier Baez actually just throwing a headset inside the clubhouse with us. So let's go. Javier Baez has the headset on. Javi, it's Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and it's Kevin Burkhardt. I know this has got to be absolutely crazy for you right now. I know I just saw you a little while ago out on the podium. Have you taken this all in? What are you feeling right now?
Hi, guys. Hi. First of all, obviously, thank you for having me. Really excited to be in this moment, to be in this size. Just having fun and enjoying the moment.
Javi, ¿cómo está? Felicidades.
Bien, gracias.
Javi, listen, first of all, congratulations. I know you're a Puerto Rican kid, grew up, went to high school in Jacksonville. We all marvel at your ability to play defense, but more than anything, we really enjoy your smile and the way you go about it. Tell us what was the one moment that you've enjoyed the most so far in this postseason.
Oof. Can't pick one. I think the one run, the solo shot in the first series, and other plays that I've been making is been pretty crazy.
Javi, Pete Rose here. You're just a young player. Was that the best double play you ever made, that last one?
we actually were trying to get one, and I was like, oh, we got to finish it like this. I was just trying to get the out, and the ball beat the runner.
Hi, it's Frank Thomas. Excuse my Spanish, I won't go there like Alex, but I've been marveling at you for the last 2 years watching you play, man, watching you mature and grow as a ball player. What part of your game that you're most excited about, your home run power or your defense, man? Because I'm telling you, it's a pleasure to watch both.
Thanks. I think I relax a lot and read. I get good reads off the bat when I play defense. So I'm a hyper guy. I like to be moving around, and you guys saw it today. The ball that I can catch, I will, and obviously having fun hours like normal, and just living the dream.
Enjoy yourself, man.
Javi, one last question here from Alex. I know you're 23 years old. You play like a 10-year veteran. And the other day, you reminded me of Roberto Alomar and Robinson Cano. My question to you is about your emotions. Can you tell us the most nervous that you were in any particular time, game, this postseason?
Oof, that's a good question.
Don't tell him that.
Well, I've been working on when I was coming up. I was, you know, with my big swing, with my overswing, you know, I tried to slow everything down, and it's been really good for me to slow the game down. I think that's one of the biggest things.
Javier, go enjoy this. Get that headset off and go have fun. Thanks so much. Congratulations to you. We'll see you in the World Series.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Felicidades. There is a team photo out in the field. As everybody's getting in there, they're soaking wet from all the champagne being sprayed around. Front office, coaches, players, clubhouse folk, everybody get involved in there because you're all having something to do with the reason for the Cubs.
This is the 49th team photo they take tonight.
Pete,
Frank, how come you're not in there?
Everybody's got an iPhone, Pete.
Look at Ron Dipster on the end there. He's stuck into the picture too.
Who?
Ron Dipster.
Frank, you should get in there. You're big in Chicago.
Mr. Chicago.
Not on the north side. Not on the north side. They've earned tonight. Happy for these guys because they've been through a lot on the north side over here. Like I said, it took a long time to build this team, and they haven't filled their goals so far. They still got one more big step, but this is one talented team. And I told you a few weeks ago, Pete, this team got the goods.
Yeah, they're going through a lot now on the south side.
Hey, guys, do you remember the
That's
time?
all right. We've been here.
Hey, guys. Do you remember the time we were talking about why are they starting Kyle Hendricks for Game 2? You know, I think when you think about Kyle Hendricks, it's about trust.
Yes.
And if you talk to the members of the Cubs organization, they trust this young man as much as any other Cub, especially here at home where he's been unhittable. And tonight he was just that.
Yeah.
Alex, earned run average champion.
It's unbelievable.
How good is the guy? I mean, best in baseball. That's pretty darn
Considering, though, he came into the year and they thought, what, 5-starter for Kyle Hendricks?
He was the most improved pitcher in baseball this year by far. He earned that.
No
because
doubt.
I saw him last year, and, you know, he didn't get all the calls he deserved to get last year. This year, he continues to paint. He get the calls he deserved. He mixes it up. And I'm telling you, man, to throw the ball between 86 and 89 and keep the ball in the ballpark as much as he does, one heck of receiving, one heck of improvement. This is one of the reasons they're going to the World Series.
With you from Wrigleyville. What a scene. And why not? Because the Cubs are going to the World Series for the first time since 1945. They shut out the Dodgers. Close those eyes. That stuff burns. Look at Chris Coughlin getting in Arrieta's face. It's on in Chicago.
Don't hurt him.
Hey, Pete, your teammates are here. They shut up. Look at your teammates.
Where's Pete?
We love you, Petey.
Hit your heart.
We love you.
Ernie
Chicago.
Banks.
We're back.
Ron Santo. Harry Carey. Billy Williams.
Thank you for making FS1 America's new #1 sports network.
Who could have predicted that plot twist?
Give me more of that. #1 all day.
That's the hottest seat in sports media.
I love it. #1 in live events.
This place will be rocking all night long.
And the #1 cable network in prime time.
And here we go.
Hello. Please stay on the line to hear an exciting TV bundle offer. Hello. Please stay on the line to hear an exciting TV bundle offer.
PlayStation. Domino's has a $7.99 Monday through Thursday carryout deal. But if you carried out Friday through Sunday, you might have felt bamboozled. So we're extending the deal to every day and giving people who paid more a little payback. Like the Smith family, who got free pizza for a year. They love pizza. We gave Brad a date with the Noid. You're welcome. And we gave Rajesh a nightlight. Payback. Go to pizzapayback.com for a chance to get yours and carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99. Now, every day.
I don't want to overstate things, but I may have just changed the entire world.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
No matter which Passat you choose, you get more standard features for less than you expected.
Hurry in and lease the 2017 Passat S for just $199 a month.
I'm here in Bristol, Virginia, and now I'm in Bristol, Tennessee. On this side of the road is Virginia, and on this side it's Tennessee. No matter which state in the country you live in, you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. Look, I'm in Virginia. I'm in Tennessee. Virginia, Tennessee. And now I'm in Virginia.
See how much you could save on car insurance.
Or am I in Virginia?
I overpack, but my guy knows what to bring. Like Viagra single packs for ED.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
Left side. The Cubs have won the pennant. Oh, man, great call. Joe Buck on it as the Cubs have won the pennant. They're going to the World Series for the first time in 71 years. And there you see what the scene was like. The double play to end it. Shots up in the box of Theo Epstein and company. And these players going crazy, and rightfully so. And so are these fans out here in Wrigleyville, just beyond our set in center field. It's a party. What do you expect in Chicago? It's been a long time. Right now, let's go inside Wrigley Field, because taking a moment to throw on a headset with us is Chris Bryant. Chris, you got the goggles on. The shirt is all soaking wet. Man, it's got to feel good. What are you feeling like after this party tonight?
I don't know, man. I can't put this into words. This is the best win I've been a part of. I mean, everybody from top to bottom. I mean, everybody contributed, and you know, this city deserves this.
Hey, Chris, Alex Rodriguez here. Congrats.
Thank you.
24 years old, 2013, the second pick overall, and here you are. My question to you is about emotions. Were you more nervous playing against the Giants, or were you more nervous and, amped up in this series?
That's a good question. I mean, I think probably against the Giants. I mean, your first playoff games of the year, you feel a little more, but as you play it more, you feel a little more comfortable with it. But it's nice to get off to a good start, an early lead, and Kyle Hendricks. I mean, that was the best pitching performance I've seen, and unbelievable defense. It was just all around unbelievable win.
Chris P. Rose here, and of course you were Rookie of the Year and probably going to be MVP this year. You're setting the bar awful high, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And you'll probably keep up with it, because you're such a good player, such a good talent, and you fit right in the middle of that lineup perfectly.
Is there a question in there, Pete?
Yeah,
No, there isn't. No question.
What, was that a statement?
No. Well, I know he's from Las Vegas with them goggles on. He looks like he's going to be in one of those acts at one of those casinos.
Chris, you could join us for our next segment. It's called Pete Rose Reads You a Story.
It's a pretty good story.
Hey, Chris, it's Frank Thomas here, man.
Hey.
Love your talent. Know you from Las Vegas. Third base, left field, center field, right field. Where else you going to play, man? I mean, with your talent, doesn't matter. I call you the Big Smooth, because I've never seen a big man move on the field, but just an elegant player. How do you do this, man?
I don't know, man. It started back when I was 10 years old, moving all over the field. Being the coach's kid, you can't really just play shortstop and bat third every game, so you got to kind of move all over. And I embrace it, man. I mean, I don't want to be the player that just says I only want to play third base. I want to be able to play, help the team wherever it is. And you see the talent. We have Javi, has to play second base sometimes, and Zobrist and Jay Hay, and I mean everybody. I mean, it's just something that I take to heart and really embrace it.
Chris, have you guys, we'll let you go after this, have you guys felt any pressure? I mean, because, look, I know you guys weren't around, but there's a lot riding on this Cubs team to get to the World Series, and you never showed it. Even when you were shut out in back-to-back games, you just never showed it. Did you feel it, any of that, through this postseason?
I mean, I think there's to a certain point. I think, if you don't feel pressure, you're not human. I mean, anybody on the stage will feel a little, nerves, a little anxiety, but we do a good job as a group of just having fun, keeping it loose. Joe Maddon's the most unbelievable guy I've ever played for. Keeps it loose. I mean, just an unbelievable team. And, we're certainly, you know, everybody here is all smiles today.
Chris, fun watching you play. Congrats, and we will see you in the World Series. Go enjoy.
Take care, man. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Chris Bryant. Look at these fans. This is what's behind us right now.
Do they have a curfew here?
No.
It's Chicago meeting.
You know, Kevin, and Frank said something very special. I mean, when the Big Hurt says he thinks he can hit 50 home runs, that's as good a compliment as I've heard from a Hall of Famer. But the other thing I want to focus on all their young players, the humility, the respect for the game. And I don't know if that's coming from Joe or Theo or Jed, but whatever they're doing, and I had a chance to walk around and spend some time with their front office, it is remarkable what's going on here with Chicago, and the rest of baseball should pay attention.
You know, back in 1945, there were some that were witness to that, and they're waiting a long time. I don't know if this next person was there, but Ken Rosenthal, has a Cubs fan, has been waiting a long time.
Dorothy Farrell, you're celebrating going to the World Series. How long exactly have you been waiting?
Have I been where?
How long have you been waiting?
Well, I've had my seat in the first row there for 1984.
So you've had a lot of disappointment. What's this night been like?
Oh, wonderful. I just had, oh my God, they're wonderful. I just love my Cubbies.
You're worried about Cleveland?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I should be.
Dorothy, seriously, 84 is when you got your tickets. Did you ever think this day would come?
No, I just wish my brothers were alive to see this. Because I had a brother killed in the war, another brother prisoner in Germany for 21 months, and 2 other brothers overseas. And they loved the Cubs. And my father did too. But they're all dead now. And this old lady's still living.
You're still going. Now, how are you going to celebrate tonight?
Oh, who knows? I probably have a Jägermeister.
All right, Dorothy, thank you very much. Enjoy it. Back to you.
Goodness, Dorothy's doing Jägermeister.
Dorothy's doing big things, baby. Jägermeister.
She is not joking around.
That was a great interview. By the way, she grew up watching you, Pete.
You want me to tell me to shut up?
Shut up, Pete.
I mean, Dorothy, forget the glass of wine. She's going to the Jägermeister.
I love it. I love it. We're in Chicago.
This is, wow. If Dorothy's going for Jägermeister, I don't know what that's mean for everybody else.
It's a big night here in Chicago, man. It really is.
It's a big night. I'm going to take you all the way to the Pancake House opens in the morning. Look at the scene.
Jaeger shots for everybody,
including Dorothy. Woo! She's ready to go.
Lemon drop.
Kamikaze.
Tequila.
Jaeger shots. Murphy's.
Oh, yeah. That's
only in Chicago.
In Chicago, we're back.
What are these? What is it?
Duck lips.
Duck lips.
It's a plastic surgery duck. You are a backwards duck. Instead of quack, he says cow. No, cow.
Pringles.
Liberty Mutual stood with me when I was too busy with the kids to get a repair estimate.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, with Liberty Mutual, all I needed to do to get an estimate was snap a photo of the damage and voila.
Voila. I wish my insurance company had that. Wait, hold it, boys. There's supposed to be 3 of you. Where's your brother? Where's your brother? Hey, where's Charlie? Charlie?
You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Get up to $5,000 customer cash on select 2016 models. See your Lexus dealer.
Great game last night.
Yeah, fantastic finish.
That good stuff was electric.
Reminds me of a young Pedro. It's gonna go down to the wire, right to the very end. Woo!
Better buckle your seatbelt.
Nice job, Berthy.
Yo, HR, my AB, man.
Oh, man.
Lighter's getting rocked.
Harold still got it.
It's showtime. Let's go.
And welcome everyone to MLB Tonight.
Culture of winning matters.
We're watching a revolution.
Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
I use my new steel building as a workshop and a garage, and I love it.
And now you can get the steel building you've always wanted and save big. For a limited time, Future Steel, the world's leader in steel buildings, is selling off selected models at rock-bottom prices. Save $2,000, $5,000, $8,000, and up to 50% off on selected models during this limited-time inventory sell-off.
Future Steel buildings are perfect for sheds, workshops, and garages.
They're easy to assemble and just as easy to customize for a fantastic finish inside and out. And if you act now, you can get a Future Steel building and save big during their inventory sell-off. Simply call the number on your screen for a free brochure and a list of sell-off sizes and prices. But don't delay. All buildings are sold on a first-come, first-served basis, and no reasonable offer is refused.
You'll love your new Future Steel building.
Call 1-800-963-3780 now for a free brochure and list of sell-off buildings.
Song? Go Cubs Go. That is a catchy tune. It really is a catchy tune. That's what they play at Wrigley after Cubs victories, inside and out. Is rocking early, that's for sure. They were just singing in the break. Some atmosphere here in Wrigley Field in Chicago overall, and all the Cubs fans rejoicing. But there are two sides to a story, right? And the Dodgers' tremendous season comes to an end tonight, and their manager, Dave Roberts, standing by with Tom Verducci.
It's always tough to lose, and when you're so close. But I think for me, the message was, not to hang our heads. We played the game the right way. We played, a lot of adversity this season, and there's a lot of guys, not only in that clubhouse, but guys that weren't with us in Chicago that helped us get where we're at. And the city, the fan base, I know there's a lot of people that are proud of the way we played the game. So it's just one of those things that the Cubs, they were a great team all year long, very talented, and you got to tip your cap. And they outplayed us a series. So it's something that it stings, but there's still a lot to be proud of.
Finally, Dave, you had the right guy, the guy you wanted on the mound tonight, Clayton Kershaw. What did you see from him tonight?
You know what, those guys, as an offense over there, they had a great game plan, and when he did make mistakes, they made him pay. But Clayton, I think we've asked a lot of him all year long, and he's human, and he's not going to be on every single night. But you got to give the Cubs hitters credit.
Dave, thank you so much. Congratulations on the great season.
Thanks, Tom.
Back to you.
Gracious Dave Roberts, Tom Verducci, thanks very much. I think Dave Roberts did a heck of a job this year, boy. He really did some job for the Dodgers. Came up a little bit short, Frank.
You look at this, it was a heartbreaking ending for him, but he could easily be manager of the year also. This team had the will to win all year long. Adversaries with Kershaw leaving for 2 months, they picked it up, put it together, and overachieved in my eyes. So good year for the Dodgers. We'll see them here in the near future, I'm sure.
They got some good young players. They got to work on that bullpen down there. They're going to compete with the Giants and some other teams next year.
Whoa! Well, they got Seager, future superstar.
Yeah, and they got a couple big free agents too. Justin Turner, Kenley Jansen.
Right.
That's a big deal. World Series should be good. You're talking about two teams that can really, really pitch, Alex, here with the Indians and with the Cubs. On Tuesday night, by the way, on Fox.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a terrific World Series, very evenly matched. Great pitching on both sides. To me, again, the thing that makes Cleveland really dangerous is Mr. Andrew Miller. And for the Cubs, I think getting pushed by the San Francisco Giants to the max, Game 5, and now today in Game 6, they're going to be ready to go too.
Cleveland just keeps coming at you, man. They got good offensive players and a great bullpen. It should be a wonderful series.
I think it's going to be a well-pitched series. The difference from the Cubs, they got line drive hitters. They know they have to shorten up a little bit. Maddon and Francona have messed up many a time, so they know what to expect from each other. It's going to be one heck of a series.
And it starts on Tuesday night, that's for sure, right on Fox. Indians Cubs Game 1. We will be with you in Cleveland. But first, a stop at Cincinnati Zoo with Pete. Champagne Dreams inside the Chicago Cubs clubhouse with Dorothy looking on, waiting for her Jägermeister shot. What a world. Look at these kids. It's past their bedtime. I mean, it's 11:30 Central Time, but you can't leave.
Pete, it's past your bedtime, Pete.
Rocky Colavito. Vic Wertz. Bob Feller. Rick Sutcliffe. Bigger shot. Yeah.
You've known for 24 hours that an unregistered wizard set magical beasts loose in New York.
So, you're the guy with the case full of monsters, huh?
News travels fast. The magical community is exposed.
I refuse to bow down any longer.
Could mean war. Contain this.
How about another one die?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
I'm Jamie Foxx for Verizon, introducing LTE Advanced, powering America's largest and fastest 4G LTE network ever.
And I'm also Jamie Foxx for T-Mobile, also America's largest, fastest network ever.
Oh, you're just repeating everything I said?
You just repeating everything I said?
I'm switching to Verizon right now.
I'm switching to Verizon right now.
There's no better time to switch to Verizon. Now get the next-gen network and the best value with no surprise overages. Switch and get 20 gigs and 4 lines for $160, all on America's best network.
All right, we're going to take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed roof. Sunset.
Try the new Bacon King with a half pound of beef and 6 strips of crispy bacon. It's truly the Bacon King, only at Burger King.
First, there's shaving, blades, sharp and precise. Then Gillette shielding, comfy lubrication before and after. And also, cooling. Ooh, got goosebumps. Gillette Pro Shield Chill with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields and cools while you shave. Pro Shield Chill from Gillette. The best a man can get. Pro Shield. Available with or without chill.
An opening night on Broadway is kind of magic. I'm Beowulf Borat, and I'm a Broadway set designer. When I started designing Bronx Tale, the musical, I came up with this idea of 4 towers that were fire escapes, essentially. I'll build a little model in Photoshop and add these details in with a pen. I could never do that with a Mac. I feel like my job is to put out there just enough detail to spur the audience's imagination to fill in all the blanks. This Windows PC is amazing. Having all of my tools right at my fingertips is incredible.
We're downtown to see if guys can tell the difference between a Joseph A. Banks suit and more expensive designer brands. Which one is the Armani suit? The polka dotted tie. Please reveal. Oh my goodness. Do they all say Joseph A. Bank? Very impressive. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
Are you tired of interacting with other people in the car? Well, thanks to the Uconnect Theater, you don't have to.
Want to do all your video games right from here?
Nope.
Current owners or lessees of FCA or competitive vehicles finance and get $2,000 total cash allowance on the all-new Chrysler Pacifica.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
And slam the Dodgers to the gates of the fiery furnace of hell.
It's game number 6 of the National League Championship Series. That's into right field. Cubs lead. That's down the line. Gone. Cubs can do no wrong right now. Goodbye. 5-0 Chicago. Rizzo. Left side. Out. Out. The Cubs have won the pennant. And that was the story of tonight on social media. That is our set just beyond center field in Wrigley. The corner of Sheffield and Waveland, and it has been rocking really since 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Welcome back, Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt, and the Cubs are going to the World Series. This team has not been there since 1945. There was no television back then, so the first televised World Series for the Chicago Cubs. Frank, what will these players be feeling on Tuesday night? First time for most of them that they're out there.
That's what makes this World Series interesting. So many young, great players. I mean, I've never seen this many young stars in the World Series. Normally you get a lot of great superstars coming together on great teams, getting to the World Series. This year you're going to see the influx of youth talent that is ready for the World Series. I'm sure they're going to be relaxed just because of it. There's so much young talent on the field.
They started playing Little League, American Legion, high school, college, minor league baseball for this opportunity to play in the World Series. That's why they call it the Fall Classic. They're about to be on a dream trip.
You know, Kevin, to me, it's all about 1908 and 1948. Both fan base absolutely love their baseball. They're both hungry and thirsty for a world championship. I played a lot of games in Cleveland, and I'll tell you, very sophisticated fan base, very smart, and they're going to be loud, and it's going to be nasty in Cleveland.
I mean, here's this tweet. Going to start a Pete Rose TV channel, just a camera on him 24/7. Going to make $1 gazillion. Pete, you in?
That's a smart man right there.
I don't blame him. I would too.
I'll tell you something else Cleveland has too. They have a manager with world championship experience.
Oh, good point. They do. So, go ahead, Frank.
I was going to say, you sure I can't carpool to Cleveland with you? I want to get in that carpool with you. Is it okay?
Okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry. We're going to turn it into a TV show. Need some more units on this thing.
Could you tell him I didn't hear a damn word he just said? Could you tell Frank I didn't hear anything he said?
He has no idea what you said.
I'm trying to ride to Cleveland with you tonight. Okay.
All right. We got to go. What a night in Chicago. What a night. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez.
See you in Cleveland Tuesday.
They're serenading in the back.
Fox.
The Cubs are going to the World Series, and we'll see you there Tuesday.
I'm going to tell you something that you all should know. Chicago is the greatest place I ever know. But I'm going to stay in this town. I'm going to live in this town. I'm going to live in Chicago.